this video with Psalm 8 before I get started. O Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. Who has set the glory above the heavens? Out of the mouth of babes and suckling hast thou ordained strength because of thy enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. When I consider the heavens and the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars, which thou hast ordained. What is man, that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man, that thou visitest him? For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hand. Thou hast put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yea, and the beasts of the field, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passes through the paths of the seas. O Lord, how excellent is thy name in the earth.
Why would they want their method revealed?
Because if we have a sense, and I think we do have a sense, that these are supremely powerful people against whom resistance is useless, then that extends their power exponentially. And also, I believe that it takes people into what my book mentions is the Videodrome. And there was a film of that name, again, in the 1970s, a very important decade in the history of America, in my opinion. And so there you have where people are looking for the next thrill. There's what's come out of conspiracy theory is not entirely healthful. And it's the idea that it's almost morbidly sick, some aspects of conspiracy theory, in that they've processed less from investigators seeking prosecutions and bringing criminal perpetrators to justice than emblazoning the power of this technology, this occult technology, and the people who are behind it, and sitting in awe. And of course, the inducing awe in people is to induce paralysis in them and a type of shock. And so we've become addicted to the thrills of finding out what our slave masters are doing to us. And rather than engaging us in a counter reaction, such as would have happened in a different era, by the way, which is important to note, the making manifest of hidden, the revelation of the method, couldn't have been done in the early 20th century, much less in years before that. The people were so healthy that their reaction would have been a type of pitchfork peasant revolt. It had to wait for the time when we've been so heavily indoctrinated by this entire system that we sit back and see it as part of this videodrome of a plethora of fast-moving images, thrills. And so we become less human in the course of that, and we're relegated almost to the status of Frankenstein's monster, where the only way we can feel alive is by getting more shots.
Guys, just to put a little bit more perspective on actually what you're dealing with when it comes to the bug fungi logic nanotechnology graphene oxide. I like to put the bug fungi logic thing in front of it because no one mentions that, which is the most important part. And basically, underneath your fingernails and underneath your toenails, and if you look on your toe, you'll see a big hump of like a hard spot. What that is that's where it develops, and it develops the fake veins that run through you. There's one on your back. That one then goes ahead, comes underneath your eyes, and it has a breathing area that comes on the top portion of your nose on the inside of your nostrils. And what it does is it has this thing that it does where it gives you like a fake runny nose feeling, where your nose don't run, but it feels like it's running. And at the same time, although you can't see it, the nano graphene oxide is seeping up your nose cavities and into your eyes. At the same time, of course, it's coming from your hair because it uses your hairs to twine its nanos around to breathe, and then it comes down your forehead and again into your eyes. And a lot of people will think this is just happening to the backs, but I was discussing this with a family member tonight. Neither one of us backs. And we went through some things already that I know most of mankind's going to have to go through regardless because they already planned it. It's just we got a lot more than what they say 5 months worth in the book of Revelation to talk about. We got, I guess, what you call a target individual where they toss a bunch of brown graphene oxide, not that black stuff, something really, really way beyond any technology you could possibly even think of. Your mind couldn't even fathom it. Your brain would go into a seizure. But anyway, let me just say, make sure I come over everything. Feet, hands, back, inside your nose. Nose pretends to run, then comes up your nose and into your eyes. Just wanted to make sure you guys understand what's going on. So I try, I guess, clean your face. If anybody comes up with any solutions, I'd love to hear them.
They create chaos, then they create control.
Over the world headquarters in Switzerland of the World Masonic Headquarters for World Freemasonry, over the door is Ordo ab Chaos, which is Latin for order out of chaos. And all Freemasons know that term, Ordo ab Chaos. Order out of chaos. The concept is to create chaos, to create the problems. Then while the people are frightened to death of all the crime and everything that seems to be out of control, a riotous situation, the government then moves in with justification. In order to put down this terrible chaos, they must have full power of the military, full obedience of the people to give the government full power to do whatever they want. That's why we're having all over the world wars, riots, bloodshed, famines, all kinds of things happening around the world. It's being manipulated. It's being orchestrated, not just for Los Angeles.
It's conflict control.
Conflict control.
There's been more wars since the creation of the United Nations.
Okay, Revelation chapter 16. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying unto the 7 angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of dead men, and every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of water, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged us. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. And I heard another out of the altar say, Even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments. And fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which had power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean spirits, like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. And they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to battle of the great day of God Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walketh naked, and they shall see his shame. And I tell you guys, we might live through a time where, we're scorched by the angels of God. Don't blaspheme God for it. And know it's a pain, but don't blaspheme God because of, he's only doing what he already told you he was going to do. So I would do the exact opposite as far as that. I feel like addressing this in this video, but I just want you to think in perspective. How far along inside the Hungarian dialectic do you think we are? If the devil and the false prophet or the muskrat is actually saying this, Elon Musk says Trump is in the Epstein files. Of course he is. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Why he has the same black eye. That's just basically mocking you. Here, focus on this. Don't focus on the Leviathan beast injections. Don't focus on the chemtrail. Don't focus on the problems at hand. Just pay attention to the theater. That's what it is. Best believe it. But they must be getting very, very desperate for you to pay attention to things that really shouldn't even be on your radar to pay attention to, that you should not have already known, because that would make sense why they didn't come out. Of course he would be in them. If he wouldn't have been in them, then he wouldn't have been able to get elected. That's just the way it is. Besides, he's probably just in a lizard suit anyway.
What you are seeing right now is the result of the COVID-19 Pfizer double vaccinated placenta during pregnancy here in Toronto, Ontario. This was a client of my company's, and we are looking right now at a placenta that looks like it's been totally degenerated. It's been eaten by the vaccine. It's so thin, it's so gray, it's paper thin. We have never seen anything like this in our life. It looks almost like part of the placenta was eaten alive, and part of it is so thick, it's so thin. This has never been seen in our lives, and this is a result of the vaccine during pregnancy. This is not normal. Next, you can see a slide of a healthy placenta. It's thick, it's juicy. You can see the arteries, you can see that blood color. These are fresh placentas, guys, just within a few hours of birthing. This is real. And then you can see the back end of this double vaccinated placenta. It looks like dog meat. It looks decrepit. It looks almost like these parts of the body have been eaten. It looks like it's been rotting. It is so light pink. It's so paper thin. It's so flappy. There's no thickness to this placenta at all. This is very alarming. This is not normal. It doesn't matter how many people tell you this is normal. This is not normal at all. What's extremely concerning is, what is the quality of that child's health? And the next slide that you will see is a thick placenta. This is the healthiness of the placenta. It should look thick. It should look juicy.
I might have the one that's got what's happening with the placenta. I want to show you, just from wearing a mask, what happens to your skin. Right here you have yourself what a normal hair coming out of a chin looks like on a man that grows hair. And this is the size of the graphene oxide that is on everyone's skin. Underneath of it, you see a little bit more intelligent looking thing here. And I didn't put it all in this picture. Let me see if it'll move around. I doubt it will, because, anytime I'm trying to show you guys something, it always makes it more difficult. But nevertheless, let's see. Yeah, you see this one right here coming out of the skin. Now, I have heard, I named this stuff a pet name, just means graphene oxide bioweapon. But at the same time, the term, and it went around the town for all those that were being affected by it, was the word griffer. But some people come up with something called griffins. They said they used to get in people's skin. As you can see, this graphene oxide thing coming out this portion of the skin definitely looks something like the griffin. But griffer is actually, even in your phone, like you put in the word GIRFF, it'll finish spelling it to you. Then here you see you got like a fungus portion of it. But if you notice on any of these pictures, let's see if I can get a fine picture, you will see like hold on, let me see, get this part here and there. You can see like these other lines, like snake lines going through it. And I was just talking to this family member about a time we stayed in a hotel where she got mad because I wouldn't even sleep in the hotel, and I just went ahead and slept in the truck and locked the doors and all that. And then she looked in the mirror and seen that she went ahead and had vertical lines going up and down her eyeballs and new wrinkles that she didn't have before. So the assimilation process is not just happening to the vax.
What you are seeing is not real.
How can you distinguish the truth from a lie?
They used to say seeing is believing. but you can't trust your eyes.
I mean, what's going on? What if this artificial intelligence is leading us towards a very dark place?
The world is about to be plunged into a time of deception unlike anything that has ever been seen before, and I don't think people realize it.
If you ask me, this is the end. These are like the last days, and something big is coming.
Humanity has just driven off the edge of a cliff, and we are now plummeting at a very high rate of speed towards certain destruction.
I am not real.
I was a human, breathing and thinking, eating and drinking, philosophizing. I was a human before you killed me and ripped my heart out. I knew what love was. Now when they ask me, I just reply slow and sound like an iPhone. I do not know love, I am a robot. I do not know love, I am a robot. I used to know love, 'cause I had a fire, passion and desire. Now all I require are circuits and wires. Inside was an ocean of soul and emotion. Then you cut me open. Now all that I know is I am a robot, thoughtless and empty. Don't know who sent me, don't know who made me. Electric robot, everything's grey now. Numb to the pain now. I knew what love was. Now when they ask me, I just reply slow and sound like an iPhone. I do not know love, I am a robot. I do not know love, I am a robot. I used to know love, 'cause I had fire, passion and desire. Now all I require are circuits and wires. Inside was an ocean of soul and emotion. Then you cut me open. Now all that I know is I am a robot. I am a robot. I used to know love, 'cause I had a fire, passion and desire. Now all I require are circuits and wires. Inside was an ocean of soul and emotion. Then you cut me open. Now all that I know is
Israel, oh Israel, You ain't nothing but a fraud. You killed your prophets, O Israel, and you killed the Son of God. He said, let his blood be upon us, and to make the matter worse, upon your own little baby's heads, you laid this evil curse. I laid down my life of myself, that I might take it again. And in your place, O Israel, there died the Son of Man. But Jewry, oh Jewry, you just can't release your pride. You still refuse to bow your knees unto the crucified. Now you've laid hold of Palestine, from the river to the sea. But God Almighty is gonna cut you down, and Palestine set free.
You know the saying, truth in plain sight, right? Well, I want to show you the truth in this one, right in plain sight. First, I want to show you that that's actually a song of Elvis's. You're the devil in disguise. You look like an angel. You walk like an angel. Talk like an angel. But I got wise. You're the devil in disguise. Could he be talking about himself? What you first need to know about the devil, aka Lucifer, if you're not familiar with the Bible, is that he was cast out of heaven primarily due to his pride and rebellion against God because, well, he wanted to be worshipped like God instead of worshiping the Most High. So he and a third of the other fallen angels got banished down here in Earth with us. And well, if you were stuck in Earth with all of God's people, and you still wanted to be worshipped like the Most High, what better person to be than the king of rock and roll? Because there sure aren't too many people that have been worshipped as highly as Elvis. And well, do you know there are a lot of people that say that Lucifer was in charge of music in heaven before he was banished? Huh. So if you're musically inclined and you're the devil and you want to get people to worship you, why not just blend in and pretend to be one of them? But Tyler, this fall happened centuries and centuries, thousands of years ago. Elvis has just been around for decades. Oh yeah? Have you ever seen what the original Statue of Liberty looked like? A lot of people draw comparisons to how similar it looks to Elvis. And well, you know about the Statue of Liberty, right? Right? Well, there are a lot of people, myself included, that speculate that the Statue of Liberty is actually a statue of Lucifer. because this is an actual statue of Lucifer, and well, they look alike, and they both have 7-point crowns, and they both have chains attached at the ankle and torches, and the Statue of Liberty's in the Big Apple, and Lucifer has an apple in the statue because he was known to give the forbidden fruit. Maybe you're saying if Elvis was really Lucifer, well, where's Elvis now? He died. Wouldn't he still be around as a fallen angel that is undying? Well, yeah. Maybe he just changed his looks and identity. And instead of being worshipped as a musician, maybe he's being worshipped as a politician. Did you see what Putin gave him as a tribute? This lovely portrait that just happened to have the statue of Lucifer, Liberty, in it, doing a similar pose. But you probably don't believe me yet, so let's go back to the whole truth in plain sight thing. Let's hear it from the man himself. Are you aware that Donald Trump has posted several times of him and Elvis, comparisons of him and Elvis, a side-by-side of him and Elvis that looks suspiciously similar to one I've posted? And oh, you want to see how many likes it had? 666. Boy, that number seems familiar, almost like it's biblical or something. And do you remember during his campaign what number you would text for him? 88 minus 22 is 66, almost like it's biblical or something. Oh, and I bet you can't guess where Trump lived in the Trump Tower. On the 66th floor. Almost like that number's biblical or something. But he can show us this all he wants. Why don't we listen to what he has to say?
The king of rock and roll, the true king. You have to say that.
True king.
Elvis Aaron Presley.
I wonder what he means when he says the true king. Almost like he's the true king instead of God. But hang on, there's more.
Forget Donald J. Trump. Meet Donald Elvis Trump.
Elvis! We love Elvis.
But people were left feeling when the president took it a step further.
I shouldn't say this. You'll say I'm very conceited because I'm not. But other than the blonde hair, when I was growing up, they said I looked like Elvis. You see that?
So you've heard it from my mouth. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. I wonder what newscasters have to say. After all, they all know, because they all worship the devil, and they know who the devil is.
Used to get down on the car and some way along with all the crowds, and he won't have that, but he will have this Capital One Arena, which I think is a concert venue, is that right? But it's now going to be a kind of rally type event, I think, for Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump is Elvis. He likes to think of himself that way. He always plays Elvis songs during his rallies. Look, the Capital One Arena is...
So I'm saying it. The horse is saying it. The newscasters are saying it. I wonder if there's any evidence of it in old TV shows.
The IRS is sending a man to audit me. Do you know what that means? Oh, of course you don't. All you know from taxes is what you pay on your gum. Well, you've got a heck of a surprise coming. I forgot to pay my income tax. For 12 years. Mea culpa already. It slipped my mind.
It's an honest mistake. I'm sure they'd understand.
Understand? The IRS? They are ruthless, heartless bureaucrats with one goal in life, making me pay. Why, the average IRS agent would make the devil himself seem like Mr. Rogers.
Devil. The devil himself.
Good afternoon. Donald Chirkenlagen Hagenslagen is the name, but you can just call me the Donald.
You can call me the Mar...
So at this point, you have a few choices. You can look right in my face through your phone or TV or whatever and say, this person's crazy, he has no sense of logic whatsoever. Or you can look at the dots I have literally laid out for you. And if those dots aren't enough for you, well then, why don't you look at these dots right there, and those dots right there, and still try to say, I don't connect the dots for you. And if those still aren't enough for you, well, then why don't you look at these two? There and there and there and there. Now, at denying it at this point, I'm looking at you and saying, what's wrong with you? Are you just too imprisoned by the matrix that they have created for your reality that you can't escape it? Or are you just a doubting Thomas? But of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. I'm a satire account. I'm definitely not someone fighting for the side of good and God and doing the best I can to fight these fallen angels. Nope. Entertainment only, people.
Anyway, he was 32 years old and unvaxxed, and he'd got a vaxxed girlfriend. And after he had intimacy with her, he got chest pains and mental fog and a very sore throat and terrible fatigue. And he contacted me because he realized that he'd never had any of this before, and it was directly after being exposed physically, body fluids, whatever, to this vaxxed lady. And this is vaccine shedding. So obviously, those people that got vaxxed now have these genes in their body to keep making spike proteins. And some people are very, very tough and don't seem to notice it until they sometimes just unexpectedly stop breathing. But there's some people who are really sensitive to it. And this guy obviously was. That he was exposed to spike proteins from this girl. He wasn't making the spike proteins. He just got some into his system, and it made him really sick. So I gave him some advice. I said, okay, well, the best things we know for getting rid of those spike proteins are nattokinase, made from fermented soybeans, breaks up those spikes, brilliant natural remedy from Japan. Bromelain, which comes from the stem of a pineapple, breaks up those spike proteins. Curcumin, which is also a brilliant natural anti-inflammatory that has a proven benefit in counteracting the inflammation caused by those spike proteins. And ivermectin, which literally binds those spike proteins and stops them causing the clots. And so I told him to use those 4 things. And so initially he couldn't get the ivermectin because they're still trying to stop people from getting it. But he had the other 3. And so he took the other 3 for a week. And he said there wasn't a big change until he got the ivermectin. And then literally once he took the ivermectin, he said he felt 100% back to normal. So the fact that they have done so much to block people from getting ivermectin speaks volumes. Because this is willful harm.
They stay 35 inches apart.
Always ask me, how do I keep parasites at bay when I'm not actively cleansing? As you guys know, number 1 is keep your toxin burden low on a daily basis. Number 2 is consume something daily that is anti-parasitic naturally. The way I like to do this is consuming cayenne ginger shots on an empty stomach every morning. Cayenne pepper contains a compound called capsaicin, which is responsible for its spicy taste and is also extremely antifungal, antibacterial, and antiparasitic. And ginger is not only extremely anti-parasitic and a powerhouse for the gut, but it can actually prevent stomach acid from flowing up the esophagus.
Guys, you know I like to end my videos. And if you'd like to support my work, I'll leave a link in the description. And thank you guys for the ones who have. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You are the salt of the earth. Keep your salt, guys. And soon I'll be trying to do an interview with Sarah Israel. She does interviews with those that are being assimilated into the hive mind beast maker system that took the beast injections. And I just think if we come together, we might be able to come up with a pretty substantial, decent interview, because I can come up with different things that I experienced and be like, oh, now I remember this, I ever did that. But when I sit down with somebody that has like a question monologue, it gets a little easier, you know, to be able to get the things that I think is the most important for you guys to be aware of, what things I think you should do to protect yourself. You know, one thing that did disappear off the market that I wish I would have got a hold of while they were still around was those electric fly swatters. Well, I'm telling you, when those griffers come after your butt, you're going to wish, because you ain't going to be able to see them with your eyes. Okay, you're going to be able to wish you could snag them with that electric fly swatter, snatch them to the ground, I'll tell you that much. God bless you. Peace and love.